Hello, happy Friday. This is the first of many numeracy videos that are going to be sent this year. I want to talk about a new system that we're going to be doing, focusing on one standard and how we break it apart and break down the steps so you can practice at home. The standard that we dove into today is a Common Core standard that says fluently multiply multi-digit whole numbers using standard algorithm. You may be thinking, what is standard algorithm? Standard algorithm can also be called vertical method, where you're stacking. If I have 12 times 3, you're stacking them vertically. This is standard algorithm. We are practicing doing multi-digit multiplication fluently, and I'm going to model what that looks like in 3 different problems. Today we jumped into 3 groups. One group did a 2-digit number by a 1-digit number multiplication. Another group did 2-digit number by a 2-digit number multiplication. And then our final group did 3-digit number by a 3-digit number multiplication and started to explore word problems. Next week, we're going to be continuing with this standard, focusing on fluency within standard algorithm and checking our work with visual models. I'm going to model the problem that friends in one of our groups did today, and I'm going to go kind of out of order, starting from 3-digit, moving to a 3 by 1 digit, and then moving to a 2 by 2 digit. All right, let's check it out. So if I have 146 and I'm multiplying it by 212, I know that there's a few strategies I can use. The first is I could color code by place value, color coding all the ones one color coding all the tens one color, and color coding all the hundreds one color. I could also try a strategy of covering up as I go. And the biggest strategy right now and tool I'm using is my multiplication chart. And you're going to watch me do that today. So whiteboards are most helpful, or any piece of scrap paper where you have a lot of room to show your work on the side. So you're going to watch as I put my work on the side right here. So we always start by making sure that our numbers are aligned. All my ones are aligned, all my tens are aligned, all my hundreds are aligned. I'm ready to go and start multiplying. My first step right here is I always start with the ones place. I'm going to start with the ones place on the bottom and multiply up by the top ones place, over to the top tens place, and then again to the top hundreds place. Watch me do it, and then watch how I put my work on the side. So I start in my ones place. 2 times 6, I know that 1 is 12. I know that 2 times 6 is 12. And if I have the number 12, that's 1 10 and 2 ones. I bring down my 2 ones, but where do I put my tens? I'm going to bring my tens right above my next place value and put 110. That's going to help me know that I need to add that to my next place value, which is in the tens place. I can erase this step. I'm done. Now I'm still on the bottom one place, and I go 2 times 4. 2 times 4 is 8, but I have to add this 1 in the clouds. 2 times 4 is 8 plus 1 is 9. I bring that 9 down to the tens place, and I get to erase on top. My final step for this first ones place on the bottom is 2 times 1 is 2. Now, this is kind of where friends get tripped up. And so we're going to introduce something that Mr. Joe introduced to Miss Misha and I, which is called Senor Bob. Senor Bob is a place value holder that helps us remember that this is not multiplying 146 times 212. When we move to the next place value, this is not a 1. This is actually a 10. So before I even move to the next step of the bottom tens place to do some multiplication, I'm going to put in that place value holder. Thank you, Bob. You helped me so much remember that this is a tens. And I'm going to multiply starting in the bottom's tens place. I can even block this out because I don't need the bottom's ones place anymore. So I have the bottom's tens place. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 1 is 1. I didn't have to carry over any hundreds or thousands. So I have moved, I've done the ones place on the bottom, I've done the tens place on the bottom, I can cross it out. But before I start multiplying, I need to remember this is not the number 2, it's the number 200. So I have Senor Bob, and I have Senorita Carmelita, who are holding my ones place and my tens place. Now I can begin multiplying. 2 times 6, 12. I already have that fact right here. I carry it down and make sure that in the next place value, I add that 10. I need to regroup and carry. 2 times 8 is 9, making sure all my numbers are aligned. And 2 times 1 is 2. My final step before I get to bow out is add this all together. 2, these act kind of like zeros. 2, 9 and 6, 15. 2, 4, 8, 9, 10, 3. 146 multiplied by 212 is the same as 30,952. So that's one way that you can do it with 3-digit by 3-digit. And we always encourage students to then set up a visual model. They could do an area model. They could do a tape diagram to double check their thinking. Because great mathematicians always try a different strategy to make sure, did we do that correctly, or what steps do I need to go back and fix? Now I'm going to model with a 2-digit by 1-digit, and you're going to hear how the steps are very similar to how we do with 3-digit by 3-digit. So if I have 12 times 6, here's the standard form, and I have it vertically aligned. My ones place are aligned, and my tens place is aligned right next to it. I start on the bottom's ones place, and I multiply it up to the top ones place and across to the top tens place. 2 times 6. Now, if I fluently don't know 2 times 6 yet, I can use this. This is a great resource to help me remember 2 copies of 6, or 6 plus 6. I can go over 2 and down 6. 2 times 6 is 12. Now, on the side, I'm showing that work again to help me remember to carry that 10. I drop the 1 down, and I need to carry the 10. Put it in the cloud and add a little plus 1. Because I'm not going to multiply it, I'm going to add it. Now I'm moving from not to my ones place on top, but multiplying my bottom's ones place with the top tens place. 6 times 1 is 6, and I have to add the 10. 6 plus 1 is 7. My product, 12 times 6, is 72. I also would check my thinking with a visual model, or maybe a different way. I could draw an array of, here's representing 10 and 2 ones by 6 ones. And I can start to fill that in and count out what the product would be to double check if my standard form made sense. Now the final one I'm going to do is a 2-digit by 2-digit. And you're going to hear similar language that we used in 3-digit by 3-digit and 2-digit by 1-digit. So if I had 12 multiplied 28 times, I made sure they're aligned. This is standard form. And I'm going to start by double checking, okay, I have my ones place, I have my tens place, I'm ready to go. I'm going to use color coding this time to actually highlight which place value I'm starting with first. I always start with my bottom ones place and multiply it up to the top ones place and then over to the top tens place. So I have 8 times 2. 8 times 2, that's 2 copies of 8. 8 plus 8 is 16. Okay. Notice how my work is on this side. 8 plus 8 is the same as 16. That's 110, 6 ones. Okay, this is the ones place. I'm going to drop down the 6. And where does my tens go? I'm going to make sure that I use my cloud to not forget about that 10. I put it in the next place value over and add a plus 1, showing in my work right here. Now, I've done my ones times my ones place. Now I need to move over place value. My 8 times my 1. 8 times 1 is 8. Can't forget that number in the cloud. 8 plus 1 is 9. Now, before I need to move to my next place value, I cannot forget about my place value holder, Senor Bob. I drop Senor Bob down in the ones. I can uncolor the number that I'm multiplying with. I just forgot what number I put there. Oh, 2 times 6. Or 2 times 8. There we go. So now I'm going to circle my 2. I can erase my cloud, and I can kind of start fresh. 2 times 2 is 4. But I'm remembering that this is really not a 2. This is a 20. Bob is helping me remember that. Then I move from my 2 times my 2 in my tens place to my 2 in my ones place. I can erase that arrow and go up to the tens place. 2 times 1 is 2. I have my 2 product lines. They're all aligned, and I can add them together. 6, Bob's like a 0. 6, 9 and 4, 13, carry the 1, 336. 12 times 28 is the same as 336. And of course, I always check my thinking with a visual model or another strategy, just in case those around me solve it in a different, unique way, that I'm able to double check my thinking and feel confident as a mathematician. Those are what we're doing in class today and what we're continuing next week. If you have questions, comment here, and I encourage you to start thinking about this at home this weekend, and even trying your own video, because I would love to share whether it's students teaching a parent or parent trying out their strategy with a student. We'd love to see it, so post it on Google Classroom. Thank you.